So, Wick is 12 weeks old today. I honestly don't know where the time's going. You blink, and before you know it, we're going to have a horrible adolescent dog on our hands. But for now, I still have a small, tiny, adorable puppy. And you know what? This smile on my face means one thing. It was a much better week than the week before. So, one of the biggest things to report for this last week is that here in the UK, we have had a heatwave. And I mean a proper hitting the low 30s kind of heatwave. I, frankly, have been dying. It's been hotter than Satan's whatnots, and I haven't coped terribly well. Wick has done brilliantly, but it is safe to say that neither of us necessarily felt like embarking on a full training regime this week. So I have modified where necessary, and actually we've used it as a fantastic opportunity to do some more socialisation and focusing yet again on being calm around distractions. On Sunday, we decided to treat ourselves to a breakfast out in a local cafe, and we took Wick with us. There were lots of noises and distractions in the cafe, as you would expect, and Wick did brilliantly. For the largest part, he was just lying down, minding his own business. He would sniff as people came past, but he didn't get up. I was rewarding him for his calm behaviour because, again, this is the sort of thing that I want to see from him on a regular basis. He still has his do not touch sleeve on his lead, so thankfully most people are respecting that, and they're certainly getting told as and when they decide to ignore me. Something I always insist on with my puppy training clients is going out to a local supermarket and just sitting outside with your dog. They're great environments because they're invariably quite busy, certainly if you're sat near the entranceway, but they don't normally have an awful lot of dogs around. So it's a great distraction for your dog to be in, but it's not normally quite as arousing as it might be for having dogs in a park or something like that. So that's where we headed with Wick. And here I am, I've got him tied to a bicycle rack just so that I can ensure that he is safe. And it gives me the opportunity to step away from him and just see how he's handling that distance. I don't want him to become over-reliant on me being right next to him for him to be able to be calm and settled. The work we've been doing over the last few weeks has really laid some solid foundations for Wick. And you can see it's beginning to pay off in these clips. He is doing a fantastic job of just lying still and ignoring people that are walking past, even the ones who sort of tried to get his attention as they were going by talking to him. He didn't get up, he didn't move, he just kept his eyes either on his food or on me, and that's exactly the sort of thing that I am looking for when we are going to be out and about. Even when people were stopping to talk to me, he still remained calm, which is absolutely fantastic.
I'm going to do obedience training with him when he's older. So we're just learning to be calm and pay attention at the moment. Good. 11 weeks old, isn't he? So he's doing brilliantly.
This week, I decided to introduce some thresholds when it comes to sitting in the car. Now, Wick is going to be travelling in the boot of our vehicle, and I wanted him to learn that just because the boot door is open doesn't mean that it's a free-for-all and he can just jump out. He is going to need to learn that jumping out is only permitted when I allow him to, when I have deemed it is safe for him to come out, and therefore working on a sit-stay in the boot of the car is just as important as when we're crossing roads or we're in a field or anything like that. This is the very first time he's done it. We'd not done any actual training in the boot of the vehicle at all. It's always just been on the street, in the house and stuff like that. But he's been able to take the skills that he's already learned and transfer it into the back of the car. And he easily sat for 1 minute. I could have gone longer. I chose not to. I didn't want to stress him out. You always finish on a high. The challenge when you've got a dog that is so responsive is to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and that's invariably where an awful lot of people make a mistake. So I had to stop myself and behave and end it there. Wick still isn't cleared with his vaccinations, so I can't do scatter feeding in the field locally, but I have done some in our front garden area just to start getting him used to the idea. And clearly he loves his food. He took to it very, very quickly. If you watched last week's video, you will know that I was stressing out about Wick and his refusal to walk. This week we had a little bit of the same. I decided to take him out with his mum, which is my husband's dog, and he definitely did better. He seems to have got his confidence a little bit, but we did have to still carry him a couple of times because we had some refusals. It's a huge improvement on the week before, but we do still have some work to do, but at least I can see it's going in the right direction, because last week I just felt like I was banging my head against a brick wall, and it's not a good place to be. We'll probably do some more walks with Margot, just so he can get used to it, but I don't want that to become too much of a crutch for him, that he's reliant upon his mum being there for him to walk. So quite quickly, I'm going to see whether I can get him out and about on his own again, shorter areas to cover, just maybe sort of like a 2 or 3 minute walk, just end on a high again is the most important thing. But I'm confident we're going to crack it. It's just one of those things, and some pups go through it, some don't. I know by the time he is 6 months old, he will be dragging me out of that front door. So it's not something to stress about too much right now. In an attempt to make the most of the sunshine without actually frying either of us, I decided to take Wick's pivot box outside. It's a good opportunity to see how confident he is using something that he's already used to, a skill that he's already developing, but using it in a new environment. So the side of our house isn't particularly busy, but the main road can be, so there is invariably people walking up. There are far more distractions, birds singing, cats walking past, things like that. So getting him out there, allowing him to just see what's going on, continue to ignore it. I'm not bothered if he turns away and he starts paying attention to something. He's not completely losing focus, which is a fantastic situation to be in. And it was nice to have a little tiny bit of sun on our back for a change. I confess what I'm doing here wasn't remotely planned. I had a client that actually wanted some information on stopping their puppy from biting. And one of the problems that this puppy is actually experiencing is a total lack of impulse control. They see something, they want something, and they just expect to get it. And that's completely understandable. We are talking about a puppy. It's something that they need to learn. And so what I am doing here is I've got food in my hand, and obviously Wick's very excited. He wants it. He's used to having it because when he performs the behaviour that I want, usually a sit, I reward him immediately. Here, I'm increasing his frustration level on purpose to see how he behaves. Now, he is starting to bite at me. He's pawing at me. He's trying to figure out, hey, I'm sitting. Why am I not getting what I deserve? I am allowing him to figure out, actually, when you calm down and you stop pushing me, that's when you get what you want. So the beginning of this session, he's never done this before. He was constantly pawing at me. By the end, you can see that he starts to actually realise, hey, if I stop, you seem to give me the food quite quickly. So the second he looks at me, he turns away from my hand, he completely disengages with trying to push for the food. That's when I'm allowing him to have it. So although things didn't go according to my written plan this week, we still had a fantastic 7 days. Wick handled everything I threw at him. He is developing in confidence. He is so calm in new situations. He's just quite happy to sit there, watch the world go by and get on with whatever it is that he's doing. And I'm really, really proud of the pup that he is. And I am confident that the dog he will become is going to be something out of this world. I am loving working with him. I am learning to not push him as hard as I desperately want to, because I know what we do now is actually going to set him up for the future. If I can take my time and handle things slowly, which anybody who knows me knows I am not a patient person, I think we're going to have an awful lot of fun for a really, really long time. So tune back in next week and find out what happened when he hit 12 weeks old.